Good day, fellow observers. Today we're going to test version 13.2.2 for the first time. It's going to be a target test. It is a 24-minute drive, 7.7 miles. So I'll just activate FSD now. Oh, okay, object and path detected. So what is the object? Okay, so it says take over to proceed. So I'm not sure why it is saying that. So I will have to proceed here, which means it's a disengagement. Okay, so let me activate FSD now. Okay, all right. Okay, so it won't activate. Wait, okay. So it took some time to load. Okay, good. Okay. I think it's because of this stick. Okay, good. Okay, nice. So it went out. So I had to disengage. So we make a right here, but FSD is not turning on its signal. Okay, so I have to disengage here because there is an oncoming car. Okay, so okay, good. All right, so it went straight. So I think that crossing earlier was a blind spot, and I already saw that there was an approaching SUV, but FSD is only limited to looking at from this cam and the one here on the right side. But I think that right side is actually blocked. So okay, so I'm gonna disengage here because there's a car, and this is not a good spot to be in actually. Okay, so I'm not confident with FSD here, so I'm just gonna disengage again and just turn right because I can't see even myself, and FSD tries to cross here, so I'll just make a right. So I think this is a difficult spot to be in. So now I'm advancing here, and I will reactivate FSD. So again, I test FSD, but I lean on the side of caution and really just to be on the safe side, and so that's why you've seen me disengage several times. So now we are at the normal route and we are going straight, but we are on a red light. Okay, I disengage there, and there is this speeding car that is a bit on the reckless side, I have to say, because it's trying to do some maneuvers in and out of lanes. So you gotta be defensive there. So now we're crossing. Okay, so now we advance here.
In 500 feet, turn left onto Clearview Expressway.
Okay, so we are here at a green, but I think FSD will stop here because there's no room at the front. Okay, so now we have a green light.
Now turn left onto Clearview Expressway.
So we have a green light now.
Now take the Interstate 295 South ramp on the left.
Okay, good merge here.
In 1,000 feet, take exit 4EW on the right onto Interstate 495 toward Long Island Expressway.
Okay, good. It's turning on the signal to move here to the rightmost right turn lane.
Now take exit 4EW on the right.
I mean, this is an off-ramp actually. So we are going to Long Island
In
Expressway.
500 feet, take exit 4W on the right onto Interstate 495 West. Now take exit 4W on the right.
So now we are merging. Okay, good. But it's merging early, just like what the van is doing on solid line. But it's gonna be broken further down. So now we are on the middle lane. So in version 13.2.2, I don't see a notice that says FSD may be degraded. Usually if you have this kind of weather already in around version 12, you already have that notice. So I think FSD still is okay with this light drizzle. So I just want to point that out. But if you have comments on it, please let me know down below. Okay, good slowdown, but it's a bit on the heavy side. Light heavy, I should say. up here for a bit, but we're going to be slowing down soon again. And I think we will have a lane change in a moment as FSD is preparing to exit. So now, just want to put it out there, right? Like sometimes on this left side, there are puddles of water that might be risky for cars.
In 1 mile, take exit 19 on the right toward Queens Blvd.
But so far so good, and now we're here at the middle lane. Okay, so now we are moving to the right lane. Okay, so FSD is giving way for this merging van. Slowing down. Okay, good. I think FSD will move to the next lane on the right. This would be a good time. Well, not anymore. There's a car, there's an SUV. So let's see when FSD will do it. So now we are moving to the next lane on the right. Okay, good. Good lane change. Okay, so alright, I think this is the second time, version 13.2.1, FSD did a brief right turn signal, but turned it off after. So, I'm not sure why though, but it happened again today.
Now take exit 19 on the right.
So I'm waiting for FSD to move to the right lane, but I think it's observing the solid line here. That's why it's not yet making a lane change.
In 500 feet, take the ramp on the right toward Queens Blvd.
Alright, there's something here that I think FSD needs to avoid. There's an SUV that's stopped. Okay, let's see how it will do this. Okay, good.
Now take the ramp on the right toward Queens Blvd.
Oh snap, so there's not much vehicles here. Okay, so it's gonna be a straight drive and then we make a right. So we are crossing a flashing yellow. Okay, good. Now we make a right here on stop. FSD hogs the whole lane. Okay, good. So I think that's what FSD will do. If there are no lines, it will kind of put itself at the center. And I've observed that several times, even in version 12. So just want to put it out there. Okay, so we have a green and we will be moving shortly. Okay, good. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Alright, so good selection here. FSD is able to advance instead of waiting on this lane on the right. Now we continue moving forward.
In 500 feet, turn right onto 56th Avenue. Then your destination will be on the left.
Okay, I'm not sure why it's slowing down, so I have to press the accelerator here. I think it thinks that it is a red because of the right arrow, but actually it's not for this lane. Now we have a green light and FSD is on the right lane, so it will have to move to the left lane as an adjustment. And FSD is not moving. And I think we can make this one. Yeah, we can make it. So FSD is starting to move as soon as it sees that it's clearing out. Okay, good. Now FSD is having a hard time. Okay, good. Shout out to that SUV that eventually gave
Now
way.
turn right onto 56th Avenue.
So we are here on a red and we're going to stop. Okay, so we have a green light and FSD is turning right. And okay, stopping for pedestrian. And now we make a right here. Okay, good. Alright, so now we go and
Now your destination is on the left.
And I'm going to disengage now. So FSD was a bit hesitant there approaching the destination. I'm not sure why it was not moving forward faster. So just want to put it out there. But I'm disengaged, so I'm going to give my takeaways. Now we started off from a parked spot on a street and FSD says that there was an obstacle and I have to take over. So I made a disengagement and then FSD kind of backed up after that and it started to move on its own. but then it had that same problem. So FSD was able to find a way to get out, and after that it was able to cross the stop. So FSD had to stop, and I had to disengage actually because there was a blind spot. So there are several disengages, like getting out of the park spot, and also as it crossed the stop I had to disengage there because of blind spot. And then FSD made advanced, and then it was trying to cross. Actually the first stop it needed to cross, but there was a blind spot, right? So I had to disengage, and then I re-engaged after, and it went forward. And then FSD also on the second stop further down, it plans to cross Northern Blvd, and the thing is FSD had a blind spot on the left side and it's still trying to move forward. But I was very concerned on that case because it is difficult to see from the left, and FSD would just, I feel like FSD advances fast, but if I let it advance on its own, that it might get into a collision. So I think those are the risk factors there when you see a blind spot, and FSD still would do things normally. So what I did was I leaned on the cautious side and really just made a right, just so I don't have to worry about more cars to consider, especially with that blind spot. So I disengaged there, and I made a right, and then re-engaged. And then after that, there was this fast car that was turning right, and it was going in and out of
500
lanes.
feet, turn left onto Van Horn Street.
Going in and out of lanes shortly after, so I had to disengage there. So, you know, it's always good to lean on the cautious side, because on the defensive side, I should say, because, you know, even if you are right and then someone hits you, you still get hit, and now you'll have to deal with a lot of things. So I think adding a layer of caution when using FSD goes a long way. And yeah, so now we headed straight to the usual route. FSD went to the left turn lane and stopped on the green because there was no room to move forward. Then after that turned red, and then on the next green it was able to move forward and made a left towards Clearview Expressway. And then FSD was able to merge to Clearview Expressway, and it was merging, I think, right on a solid line. It just followed the van that was doing the same thing in front of it. So yeah, and then stayed on the middle lane for a bit, then moved to the passing lane for the majority of the trip, and then it began moving to the right lane, to the middle lane, and the next lane on the right. And FSD gave way to a merging van from the left, and so FSD was good from that point and went straight and went to exit 19. It took some time before we got there, and FSD was able to adjust to an SUV that I think for some reason had a problem, and we had to go around it, and FSD did so. And after that, FSD went to the ramp towards Queens Blvd and was able to make a right on stop. Then FSD was able to advance and actually move to the left lane on Queens Blvd because the right lane was slower and a lot of cars there were turning. And it went straight ahead, and then on green it stopped first on the intersection because there was no room to move forward, and once room was available it advanced, and FSD was able to, what do you call this, to move forward and eventually actually move to the left lane because the right lanes had cars that were parked. And so on the right turn to the destination, FSD took a bit of time to make a right after the green, and it adjusted though with a pedestrian, but because it was slow on moving forward, I pressed the accelerator, and then shortly after we were at the destination. So yeah, overall I think there's a lot of new angles of testing that is involved now with version 13, especially that FSD is able to go out of a parking spot. So earlier I tested it and I had to do some disengages because of that, and as FSD is saying that there was an obstacle and I need to proceed. So Yeah, other than that, well, there's some introduced difficulty there. So we had that blind spots, and you need to really be watching the blind spots because you'll never know what comes out from that blind spot. Sometimes nothing, but sometimes too there's something. There might be a lot. And you know, that obstacle on a parking spot, and then blind spot on the stop, and then another blind spot, and then a fast car that is moving in and out of lanes. That's also something that you need to keep in mind. So those are all my takeaways for this test, and if you find this video helpful or of value, please like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.